Off the coast of Nagasaki lies a haunting silhouette on the water, Hashima Island, also known as Gunkanjima or Battleship Island. With its fortress-like concrete buildings rising from the sea and ringed by protective sea walls, the island looks more like a warship than a former city. At its peak, it was one of the most densely populated places on Earth, a thriving coal mining facility that symbolized Japan's rapid industrialization. Today, it stands abandoned and crumbling, battered by sea winds and silence, a ghost town that tells a story of ambition, exploitation, and forgotten lives. Hashima's history begins in 1887 when coal was discovered beneath its rocky surface. Mitsubishi Corporation purchased the island in 1890 and began transforming it into a major undersea mining operation. Over time, the island expanded artificially, with seawalls and massive concrete structures were built to house workers, their families, and the infrastructure required to sustain life in such an isolated location. At just 16 acres, Hashima became a vertical city, with high-rise apartment blocks, schools, bathhouses, shops, a hospital, and even a cinema. By 1959, over 5,000 people were crammed onto the island, an astonishing population density of over 83,000 people per square kilometer. Hashima wasn't just a coal mine, it was a test site for Japan's experiment in urban living under extreme conditions. It was one of the first places in Japan to use reinforced concrete high-rises to combat typhoon damage. Narrow corridors wound between apartment blocks. Children played on rooftops while miners descended deep beneath the ocean floor to extract the coal that powered post-war Japan. Despite the claustrophobic conditions, life was vibrant and close-knit, with strong community bonds among the islanders. The local economy and lifestyle were completely self-contained. However, Hashima's success came at a cost. During World War II, the island also became a site of forced labor. Korean and Chinese prisoners were brought to Hashima under brutal conditions, made to work long hours in dangerous mines with little regard for safety or dignity. Many perished, and their stories are a dark but essential chapter in Hashima's legacy, a reminder that industrial glory often hides human suffering. The downfall of Hashima was swift. As Japan transitioned from coal to petroleum in the 1960s, demand for coal plummeted. The mines began to close across the country, and Hashima was no exception. In 1974, Mitsubishi officially shut down the operations, and within weeks, the island was evacuated. Residents left behind belongings, furniture, books, and toys. Entire lives were frozen in time. The ocean reclaimed its hold, and typhoons tore through the empty buildings, accelerating their decay. What was once a buzzing hub of innovation and labor became a concrete tomb. For decades, Hashima remained sealed off, guarded, and inaccessible to the public. But as interest in industrial ruins and dark tourism grew, the island's eerie silhouette drew international curiosity. Its ghostly structures and somber history captured the imagination of filmmakers and photographers. Hashima was featured in the 2012 James Bond film Skyfall, standing in as the villain's lair, and its haunting ambiance was highlighted in documentaries and photo essays around the world. In 2009, parts of the island were opened to guided tours, with designated walkways allowing visitors to glimpse the ruins from a safe distance. In 2015, Hashima was granted UNESCO World Heritage status as part of Japan's Sites of Japan's Meiji Industrial Revolution, recognizing its contribution to the country's modernization. However, this recognition was not without controversy. Critics, especially from South Korea and China, argued that the site's dark wartime history, especially the forced labor, was being whitewashed or ignored. In response, calls for full historical transparency and remembrance have intensified, prompting Japan to thus acknowledge these darker aspects, albeit gradually. Walking through Hashima today is like stepping into a dystopian dreamscape. Roofs have collapsed, stairwells are blocked by rubble, and rusted beds sit under shattered windows. The wind whistles through empty classrooms, and weeds grow in the cracked floors of once busy kitchens. Despite the decay, Hashima feels alive in its silence. It's not just the architecture or the proximity to the sea, it's the layered history carved into its walls, echoing with stories of resilience, tragedy, and industrial might. Hashima Island is more than an abandoned place. It is a monument to the speed and price of progress. It It reflects the rise of a nation from coal-powered industry to global prominence, and the many lives, both empowered and exploited, who made that transformation possible. As it continues to weather the elements and time, Hashima reminds us that behind the cold concrete of industrial ambition lie stories worth remembering.